All right, today we are, as it says here, looking at circles. So here's a circle here. Let's look at this GeoGebra thing. Here's a nice circle here. So it's giving us the equation of this displayed circle here. X squared plus y squared equals 25. All right, so equation of the circle looks like that, and here's a general equation. So we'll look into all of that. Okay, so radius of 5. There we go, radius of 5. Yep, okay, so 5 from the centre out to everywhere. And it's 25 on the end, which is 5 squared. So let's go radius of 7, for example, or 8. All right, so 8 from the middle all the way out everywhere. No, 64 here, so r squared, radius squared, as it then says here. All right. So there we go, let's move that back to 5. Now, of course, I've got some other sliders, and that's all very well to have a radius at the centre here, but we could move these different ways. So I could move this across. Let's move this across here. H equals 3. See up the top there, H equals 3. You can see there 3 and 0. You would see down here x equals minus 3. Oh, sorry, x minus 3, not x equals minus 3. X minus 3 squared. So it's moved to the centre, the x value of the centre, where this bracket's 0, which of course is 3. And you notice this formula is a little bit different here. So it's not written as y equals, but in this case, it's the x and the y's on the same side. And that's equal to the radius squared. And see how now we've got a y in a bracket. And so it's a similar form to this here. So if let's move this down 4, so down to -4. See now it's got y plus 4 here. So it's moved it to the y value where that bracket's equal to 0, which is -4. -4 plus 4 is 0. All right, and of course we can have in other places as well. So here we got 3 and -4. So when we look here, x minus 3, so plus 3 to make that bracket 0, minus 4 to make that bracket 0, and here's our centre. So our h here and our k here, there give us our centre. All right. So let's go back to, here we go. Go back to here. And so what we can say then is that we've got a, let me change that to black, an equation which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared, where the centre is at h and k, and our radius is r. All right. So let's have a look, sorry, wrong one, at an example. So write down the equation of the circle with centre -3 and 5. All right, so straight away off this, we've got our h, we've got our k, and we've got our r. So it's a matter of x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. It's a matter of us putting in the numbers. So we've got x minus, and h is -3, plus y minus, and k is 5, equals 2 squared. 2 negatives make a plus, so x plus 3 squared, y minus 5 squared equals 4, whoops, not squared, equals 4, 2 squared is 4, and so there's our equation. X plus 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 4 is our equation of that straight line. And of course, if we can, knowing the center and the radius, we can make an equation, we can also go the other way. So here we've got an equation and we can find the center and the radius. So remember here, we're looking at this bracket where the x value to make that equal 0, and that would be 1 to make that bracket 0. So that means h is 1. This bracket here, similar argument, the y value to make that 0 is 2, and so k is 2, and that of course is the radius squared. So the radius is the square root of 4, which of course is 2. All right, so center is 1 and 2, and our radius is 2. All right, so next, if we want to sketch, let's have a look at sketching. So easiest way to sketch, and there's a few different ways that we can sketch, but the easiest way to sketch is the way I'm going to show you now. You can find x and y intercepts, but x and y intercepts can often be a little bit tricky to find. So the way I'm going to show you also works really well. So unless you specifically ask for the x and y intercepts, you don't need to find them. You can sketch it in this way that I'm about to show you. So our center. So first bracket, -1. Second bracket, -4. And the radius, square root of 9, which is 3. So the way that I'm going to show you to sketch is this. So here's our x and y. Putting on a bit of a scale on things here. All right, so the way that I'm going to do it is this. I'm going to say, okay, so we'll start at the center. So I'm going to do the center in blue. So the center is at -1 and -4. So the center is here. And then we can say we can use the radius. All right, so the radius is 3. So what that means is that any direction we go, wherever we go, we've got to go 3. So what I'm going to do, start at the center, and I'm going to go to the right. So horizontally to the right, I'm going 1, 2, 3, and so I end up here. And that point where I end up then is now at 2 and -4. And I can do the same to the left. Or 1, 2, 3, and I end up here. And that is -4 and -4. But I can also go up 1, 2, 3 to end up there, which is -1 and -1. And I could also go down 1, 2, 3 and end up here, which is at -1 and -7. So if I then join those points up like so, I end up with a beautiful circle. And because I'm such a talented artist, there it is. It looks beautiful. All right, so that saves you having to work out intercepts. And intercepts are probably going to have square roots and things like that in them. So as I said, unless you specifically ask for them, don't worry about finding them. Just sketch it in the way I've just shown. All right, spare page, didn't know. All right, so question like this. Find the radius and coordinates and center of the circle with this equation and how to sketch the graph. So in this question, you are told that it's a circle. So we know that it's a circle. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do something. So we've got this here with an x squared, we've got an x here. Then when we look at, we've got a y here and we've got a y there. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to group those things together and then make it complete the square out of it. Because remember, when we're looking at our equations, so here, we've got a perfect square here with the x and a perfect square there with the y, equal to 9. And then that'll take care of itself, and then I'll point out how that takes care of itself when we get to it. All right, so I'm going to color code. So we've got the x squared minus the 6x by itself. And then I've got plus the y squared plus the 4y. Group them together. And then, yeah, we've got the minus 12 on the end. And that equals 0. All right. If I complete the square with those two here with the x minus half that is 3. So we divide by 2, and then we square, which is 9. And because we've added 9 extra in, we subtract 9. And then we do similar with the y. So y, half of 4 is, should have a y there, forgot that. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Take 4 away. And so now we've got minus on the end here. We've got all of those that we can group together. So minus 12 minus another 9 minus 4 happens to work out to minus 25 equals 0. Move the 25 to the other side by adding 25, and now we've got x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 25. I just noticed I forgot the little squared there, so let's put it on. All right, so there's our equation. So we know our centre would be at 3 and minus 2. Our radius would be at 5, and we can now sketch that. All right, so here we go. All right, so let's get back. Where were we? 3 and minus 2. 3 and minus 2. 3 and minus 2. There's our centre, and our radius is 5. So I go 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here, which is 8 and negative 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to here, which is 3 and negative 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across here, which is minus 2 and minus 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here, which is 3 and 3. And then we draw ourselves a beautiful circle. Oh, like so. There we go. Very artistic. All right, so there you go. There's how we would do that particular question. Semicircles. All right, so they're half circles. So we're just going to take it a little bit easy here for the moment. I'm going to say, all right, x squared plus y squared is equal to the radius squared. What I'm going to do is we're going to take x squared from both sides. And so then I'll have y squared equals r squared minus x squared. Then I'm going to square root both sides. And then we end up with that. So what does this plus and this minus mean? All right, so let's go, for example, to, here we go, and let's go on this calculator and have a look at any sequences, but the graph and the table. Let's clear that out of the way. So they were our square root ones that we looked at the other day. Clear all. So I'm just going to make up a number for a radius. So let's say we had a radius of 9, for example. All right, so if we had a radius of 9, for example, that would be y equals plus or minus the square root of, oh, 9's a bit big, isn't it? With 3, for example. 3. So that'd be 3 squared minus x squared. So y would be plus or minus square root of 9 minus x squared. So we've got two bits. We've got y equals the plus square root one. And we got the y equals the minus square root one. So if we go here, sorry, I didn't. So that's what I was doing. I forgot to go back to this. All right, so we put radius of 3 squared 9, split it up into the plus and the minus part. All right, so let's have a look at this first one. I'm going to say, well, this is going to be the plus square root part of 9 minus x squared. And then the next one is going to be the negative square root part. 9 minus x squared. And then I'm going to say, let's graph this for me. And there we have a look. So the plus square root in the blue looks like the top of a circle. It's a bit here. So let me get rid of that. So it's the top half of the circle, isn't it? Let me change that. It's the bottom half of the circle. Put them both together, and you've got the whole circle. So a semicircle is of this form here, which looks a bit like the square root graph, but here underneath here, we've got a squared, whereas a square root graph, we don't have the x squared. So here's some examples. So this one here, the first, all of these, for example, r squared is 4, so r is equal to 2. So the first two we've had a look at were the y equals ones. So let me have a rough sketch. So it's a y equals 1. We've got a radius of 2. And it's the plus, so if it's the plus, it's above the axis. All right. So going back to here, that's the blue one, I think it was. There you go, the blue one. Above the axis, the blue one. And part B is the minus square root one. So part B, well, this like so. Beautiful diagram. All right. Now these ones here, look at this, x equals. So we've got x equals instead of y equals. Let's go and have a look here on our graph. So what I can do, I'm going to clear all of those. Okay, away we go. And clear these as well. Right, there we go. Now I'm going to change this, and I don't know if you know, change this. I'm going to change this now to x equals. There we go, this one here. So x equals, and what's it saying? This first one's saying negative square root of 4 minus y squared. So we got negative, slide that up, negative square root of 4 minus y squared. All right, so before I graph it, what do we think that might look like? There you go, look at that, sideways parabola. So I've got the y squared in there, sideways parabola, sideways half circle. All right, so if the y's underneath, it's going to be this way. All right, so if we go back to here, so for C, we have this one here. And then for the last one, for D, we've got one that looks like this here. All right, so there's some semicircles. Now, of course, it's not quite, we can extend that if we like, we can extend that for a bit more. And if I extend that, we have this kind of thing. So this time, rather than the center, as in the previous question here, like there was no translations, the center was in the center of the origin, I should say. So, but with this one here, we've got some other stuff. We've got this here, and we've got this here. So now we need to think about what they might do. And of course, those two have got things to do with our center. So you might then have a look and we say, okay, so our center with the x minus 2, that bracket's equal to 0 when x is equal to 2. So there's our h. And this other one on the end, that's in fact our k. So that's at minus 2. Then our radius has to do with this. So that's the radius squared is 49. So our radius is 7. So when we want to sketch that particular one, we might go something like this. And so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5 down, a bit up. There's my rough sketch. All right, so center 2 and minus 2. So our center is at 2 and minus 2. So there is our 2 and our minus 2. Now, then we've got a radius of 7. So we can move 7. So first of all, we've got to decide whether it's above or below. And so get rid of that and see here, we've got a plus. And so the plus indicates it's the up bit. So from this 2, I can go left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to there. And then here's our very pretty semicircle that we've got going on there. All right, so my scale's pretty awful in that example that I've done. Hopefully, though, you kind of get the idea. All right, so something that initially looks reasonably straightforward. There's a few little twists on it that make it a little bit more complex. But if you think about what's going on, you should be pretty good. All right, so that is the next bit, circles, which is the exercise 4D questions on your work plan. So if you have any questions, make sure you give me a yell so we can sort out any of that stuff for you.